Oh, the Runbo's here. You beat Kathy in the door today. I gotta adjust this. Oh, man, I hate when this happens. Hold tight. All right, Kathy's here. Okie dokie. Oh, let's get started. Broadcasting live from downtown Cleveland, station WDWL TV, bringing you the Grumpy Old Man, and the show, like usual, is brought to you by Grumpy Vulture Productions. No bow. How are we all doing? I spent an hour with Dr. Tai Chi. Holy shit, what a waste of an hour. I told her. I was basically forced to be here. It's nice meeting you. And after the hour is up, we will be parting company. I am not going to be, with stretch. I felt like I was in the studio with, oh my God, I forget his name. You know who I'm talking about. I can't think of his name now. The exercise guru. What the hell's his name? I just saw an article about him the other day. Oh, what the hell was his name? Richard Simmons. Yeah, that's what I felt like. I was in more fucking pain when I left that office than when I came in. And yes, I did. It was under this vest. No, not Jack LaLanne. No, Richard Simmons. It was under this vest. I had the vest zipped up, and halfway through the bullshit she explained to me, I went, "This is my opinion." And she went, "Oh." She didn't get it at first. F call F call F, and she's going F call F call F. F caught. Oh! I said, yep. That's what I think of this whole Richard Simmons routine. I wish I would have remembered the Richard Simmons. I just said this whole ridiculous. Matter of fact, I told her, I says, I'm in more pain now than when I walked in the door. I was feeling great. So you can tell Dr. Tsay I was here. And I ain't coming back. She says, well, that's you're right. I zipped up my vest and said, I think the hour's up. Oh, the ridiculous bullshit. Wake up in the morning, stretch this arm, stretch this arm, stretch this leg, bend over, touch your toes. I said, if I bend over to touch my toes, I'll never be able to straighten back up. She says, boy, you have a bit of an attitude. I said, yeah, I didn't want to be here. I'm only doing this to make my oncologist happy. And while you're stretching, think happy thoughts. I said the happy thought I'm thinking is time is ticking and this hour will be over soon. I can't wait to see the report she writes my oncologist. You sent me an asshole. Yep, that's me. Now, I have a request. I need at least one roll of brand new, uncirculated 2025 pennies. I would like two, but I'll settle for one. Because today I went to 4 different banks. Not one bank had a brand new roll of pennies. They all said they stopped getting them 2 weeks ago. I have 2 brand new uncirculated rolls of 1943 steel pennies. My grandfather acquired them and gave them to me shortly before he passed. I also have 2 brand new uncirculated rolls of 2012 Canadian pennies. Because that was the last year they minted pennies in Canada. I am now on a search for at least one brand new roll of uncirculated 2025 pennies. I went to the grocery store because right next to the bank was gigantic eaglet. No new rolls of pennies. I went to Mark's. No new rolls of pennies. I even went to my mom and pop Indian store. No new rolls of pennies. I'm like 2 weeks late. Because my little sweetie Sarah at the bank said, we haven't had new rolls of pennies for over 2 weeks. And she said, you're not the only person looking for new rolls of pennies. So, if anybody comes across a brand new complete roll of 20-25 pennies, I want them. Please. Well, Ron, when I was in Mark's, the guy from Lou's Sausage was just making a delivery. And I said, I'll take one package of hot, please. So I got a nice fresh package of hot Italian sausage. Then I went over to produce and I bought a yellow, an orange, and red pepper. Then, as I was walking past the ready-to-rot rack, there was a package of 3 Cubanelle peppers, those nice Italian peppers, for $1. So I grabbed them and a large white onion and came home and I looked like Emeril Lagasse. And I fried it all up. I put it in a nice sealed container, which is in the microwave, because come dinner time, I will microwave them nice and hot. And the Italian sausage just finished cooking, and it's in the skillet. And I got a nice, fresh baguette. So tonight, I will have an Italian sausage heaped with peppers and onions. Why do I want to pay that much? See, that's where all the pennies went. As soon as the word went out that they were going to stop minting, everybody started hoarding these fucking things. Because Sarah told me a guy came in to the bank 2 weeks ago and he bought up every roll of brand new pennies they had. And then he asked when they were getting their next money delivery, which was 3 days later, and he came in and he bought up every roll again. So that's what's happening. These fuckers are hoarding them. I'm not going to pay $15 for a 50-cent roll of pennies. If I have to do without them, fine. Some store has somewhere. Now, yeah, I could go around to all the penny cups and collect, 20, 25 pennies and roll them, but they're not uncirculated. But see, I did not anticipate there being a sudden penny shortage. Yeah, asshole hoarders are coming in, sucking them all up to make a fortune, which is bullshit. I'm not going to pay $15. No. Somewhere a store happens to have a brand new roll of pennies. I'm on a search. But the problem is, I got people that are 2 weeks ahead of me. And they're probably doing the same thing, going into every goddamn store and buying fucking brand new rolls of pennies. And then they're going to turn around and make a goddamn killing. So, in your travels, I would appreciate it if you would kind of ask, do you have a new roll of pennies, please? Yes, you do? Okay, I'll take one. I will gladly reimburse you your 50 cents and pay the postage. I would like two, because I have 2 and 2. I'll settle for 1. Matter of fact, poor Sarah felt bad. She went, oh, gee, had I known, I had to set a roll aside for you. I said, well, first of all, you didn't know. Although 2 weeks ago when I was in the bank, if I would have fucking thought of it. So she took down my cell phone number and said, if I come across one, I'll call you right away. I said, good. You'll get 50 cents and a big hug and a kiss from me. Which I would really like to do. I was standing, there was a goddamn line at my bank. And there was 2 tellers. And people were starting to get a little irritated. I'm standing there, looking at my watch like, and all of a sudden somebody bumps me. And, I was going to turn around and give him a piece of my mind. And as I turned around, all I saw was the top of a head. I went, oh, the little pixie. She goes, go over to window 3. She slides the thing back. Can I help you? I pulled out a buck and I said, I want 2 rolls of brand new pennies. She pushed it back and went, sorry, don't have any. So, she asked me for my phone number, which I wish would have been more to call me for fucking pennies. She said, if I get a roll or 2, I call you right away. That's when I told her. I said, well, you'll either get 50 cents or a buck and a big hug and a kiss from me. What a little adorable little pixie she is. Oh my God, I could pick her up and put her in my pocket. Matter of fact, after she bumped into me, I looked her kind of up and down and I went, "How are you walking on them feet?" She said, "What do you mean?" I said, "You're a little..." I set my foot next to her. My size 14s made her look like she was wearing baby shoes. She looked down and goes, "I could get both of my feet in one of your shoes." I said, "Yeah." I think she said she wore a 5. I think she said a 5. But her shoe next to mine looked like a baby shoe. So I am on a search for at least one roll of uncirculated pennies. Now, usually from the mint, they come in clear plastic. But just... well, be like me, Ron, a grumpy old man. Open the window and yell, "Shut the fuck up!" And then close the window and latch it. And then close the drape. I almost brought home lunch for asshole here. On the way home from Mark's, somebody had ran over a raccoon. No, I didn't pick it up. I'll tell you where it's at. After the show, go get it. Come on, Jesus. There. So that is your assignment, people. Search me out a roll of brand new pennies. I thought for sure my little Indian store might have a roll. He looked in his change box and went, "No." Typical. 2 weeks too late. Although I should have known better. Because soon as Trump announced he was doing away with the penny, I should have gone to the bank. Because as soon as he made that announcement, all the assholes started hoarding rolls of pennies. So I guess what I'm going to do temporarily is start searching penny cups. Any 20, 25 penny I'll just bring home and... but uncirculated in a roll, although I'm not buying them to resell. I want them to go with the collection I already have. Yeah, that's why I say but there should be more, you know, because they minted the last one on the 12th doesn't mean that every U.S. mint shipped out every roll of pennies. There's got to be some somewhere. But you got all these assholes that probably, you know, are friends with their banker going, hey, when you get some, put them aside. Like that idiot that came in 2 weeks ago and bought every roll of brand new pennies. Four different banks. I couldn't believe it. Four different banks. Not one goddamn roll. So now I'm on a search. I'd like two. I'll settle for one. I thought for sure gigantic eaglet because, you know, they get a box full. The girl at the service desk said, well, let me go look in the cash drawers in the back. And she looked and she goes, nope. She said, there might be in the vault, but I can't get into the vault. So I left her my number and I said, I would like one. Kind of spread the word. I went to Save-A-Lot, nope. Went to Family Dollar, nope. It just, like all of a sudden, every roll of brand new uncirculated pennies is vanished. So, the word is out, people. I need one, at least. Because I just want them for my collection. And I'm not a coin collector per se. But I do have pennies that go back to, I have an 1899 Indian head. That's the oldest one I've got. And I have pennies from every single year from 1900 to date. That's where my pill bottles come in handy. Once they're empty, I put coins in them. And only pennies. God, I couldn't believe it. I reached in a penny cup the other day and came up with a wheat penny. I was like, wow. Somebody's coin collection got stolen. Because that's the only time you see old coins is kids stealing people's coin collections and spending them. Because they have no idea what the hell they stole. Oh, look, money. because I think that's where that Indian head penny came from, because I got that out of a penny cup about 3 years ago. Matter of fact, the guy that owned the store thought it was from another country because it looked funny. And then I showed him. I said, "This is an Indian head penny, 18.99." He said, "Well, give me it back." I said, "Hey, it's in your penny cup. It says if you need one, take one." So I'm taking one. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Not a roll, 4 banks, 3 grocery stores. But like I say, it's the idiots that are hoarding them. And unfortunately, there are people that will pay that $15 for that stinking 50-cent roll of pennies. American entrepreneurship. But that's just plain ass greed. And unfortunately, the price is going to keep going up and up and up. Like right now, if wherever this guy is located, as soon as he realizes that there is not one roll of pennies around, he is going to jack the price up. I'm still not paying that for a goddamn roll of pennies. That's greed. The guy's probably sitting on a couple $100 in rolls of pennies, going, "Oh boy, I'm going to make a killing." But there's some out there somewhere. They're out there. You guys just got to find me one. Like I say, I would like 2 because I have 2 rolls of steel pennies. I have 2 rolls of Canadian, and it would look nice to have 2 rolls of American pennies, but if I can get one, I know, Ron, but it's still. Because, like I say, that $6 is going to go to 12, and then it's going to go to 25, and then it's going to 30. Because if the guy knows some dumbasses are willing to pay that, it's the old supply and the demand. I have the supply, and I'm going to demand the price. And I guarantee, as soon as Trump said, "We're not going to mint pennies anymore," these people went out and started hoarding them. I could guarantee some of these guys bought boxes full. And I can't remember whether a box is $10 or 20. But that's probably what they did. They bought boxes full. And now they're sitting on them. And unfortunately, people are going to be buying them. And I wouldn't doubt the people that buy them turn around and double the price and put them on Amazon and eBay and start flipping them. But I am not, no, I'm not, no way. Somewhere there are some rolls still out there. Hopefully I get a call from Sarah going, I got one. I'll tell her I'm on my way, pucker up. I'll get there and there'll be a roll of pennies sitting on the counter and there'll be nobody behind the counter. Leave 50 cents, please. I thought she was going to cry. You know, had I known. I said, it didn't hit me. You know, my dumb ass, as soon as the announcement was made, I should have gone right to the bank. But I wasn't thinking about it. Until I sat down today and went, ooh, maybe I should go up and get a couple roll of pennies before they're all gone. Now they're all gone. I don't go to head shops. Matter of fact, the only one I know around here, I wouldn't go into the place in broad daylight, let alone, you know. Well, like I say, Ron, they're out there. You just have to ask. Everywhere you go, you have a brand new roll of pennies? Do you have a brand new roll of pennies? Somebody's got it. Believe me, they're out there. Now I'm on a mission. Every store I go into, I will be asking if they have a brand new roll of pennies. I also will be looking in every fucking penny cup. Because there's a lot of people that could care less. Pennies. So, like you say, they're out there. Now, like I say, shit, I'll even hit the goddamn pizza shops and fast food places. Somewhere is a roll, somewhere. Because I think tomorrow night is I'm going to hit rallies. And I'll ask the girl while I'm standing at the window, you happen to have a brand new roll of pennies in the drawer? Like you say, there's a cash drawer in a store somewhere with a brand new roll of pennies sitting in it. Even if I have to go door to door. Any business that has a cash register. I just couldn't believe it when she went, nope, haven't had a roll in 2 weeks. I was like, oh, fuck. Well, I didn't say that to her. I was thinking it. I would never swear around the little pixie. Because she's too adorable. That was hilarious. when she put her shoe next to mine. I was like, how are you walking around in them little itty feet? You look like you're wearing baby shoes. I was half tempted to tell her, slip that shoe off and let me see that foot. And everybody in the bank would have went, oh, we got a weird one here. He's got a foot fetish. No. Well, they're running through the converter that converts XLR into USB. I don't have a microphone amplifier unless I'm over in Studio One and then using the soundboard and the interface. If I use the mixer, I can turn the microphone volume up and down. But tonight, I'm just running through the converter. Why, don't they sound right? They were sounding great last night. Yeah, the other night when I was using the white microphone, I had the converter plugged into it. But there's something about that microphone that it only works like it should when it's running through a mixer and an interface. That mic sounded lousy. But I paid good money for these little things. I say they're just little dipsy doodles there. Look how tiny they are. Technically, what these little ones are made for is on a stage in front of an instrument. Like if I was playing a saxophone, this would be in the end dipping down into the pick up the sax. Well, that's because I'm not directly talking into them too. I keep leaning back. If I talk directly into them, where's Kathy? Kathy, how do they sound? Ron's having audio problems. Yeah, I had a bad habit. I lean back and I'm not talking directly into them. But these are not cheap microphones. Good on your end, that's what I thought. Ron's having audio problems. Because, like I say, these are Behringers. And I've got a Behringer mixer. I'm going to have to dig that thing out. That mixer that's over in Studio One sucks. But Behringers are made in Germany, and God, they make excellent microphones in Germany. Not saying the U.S. manufacturers don't make good microphones, but any microphone made in Germany, man, they're class act. That's because I was leaning back. Now I've got them like directly in front of my face. And I'm about 6 inches away from them. But if I get too close, then you get popping. And I have a bad habit of leaning back and then I push the microphones forward. So how is the weather down in your area today, Kathy? We never really got over like 42 degrees. Oh, here's a good one. Today we had dump trucks going up and down the street all day long over to the street they're doing on construction on. And the goddamn dump trucks were just blowing the stop signs. As a matter of fact, the name of the construction company is Five Girls Construction. And it's all female drivers driving these big honking dump trucks. So finally, I got fed up. And I called Officer Adams. And of course, her cell phone went to voicemail. And I said, I need you to return my call as soon as possible. I didn't say why. It was really interesting because we haven't had a traffic car in a week. It's almost like she read my mind. Because suddenly at 3 o'clock, the traffic car shows up. Well, word went like wildfire. Because every time a dump truck came down the street, it made a complete stop at the stop sign. Somebody saw that cruiser hiding. And they all got two-way radios in the trucks. And, oh, I was getting pissed. Here comes the blue dump truck. Here comes the white dump truck. Here comes the orange dump truck. I'd like, you bastards. All all day long you've been blowing them stop signs, and all of a sudden word goes out there's a cruiser sitting there. Every truck, complete stop. Oh, I was pissed. I was hoping one of them goddamn dump trucks would get a fucking ticket today. And then, of course, 3 o'clock, there's hardly any traffic. No. She'll call me tomorrow going, something I can help you with. 58. I'd have taken 58 over 42, I'll tell you that. Matter of fact, when I got up, it was 37. And around noon, it got up to 40. Then about 2 o'clock, it hit 42, and that's where it peaked out. And now what are we? 35. I hate to think there'll be white stuff on the ground soon. So how often, Kathy, do you go kind of like shopping? Are there any malls around you that you kind of wander through now and then? Like wandering through going, do you have any pennies? Do you have any pennies? Like I say, somewhere there's a roll of pennies sitting in a cash drawer that nobody knows of yet. Be my luck, I walk in a store just as somebody's cracking a roll open. I'm like, oh no! Well, don't you have like a Circle K or a Speedway or something around you? Or a truck stop? Now, that would be a possibility. But I'm not going to drive down to 76 and 224 in Seville, Ohio to look for a couple of rolls of pennies. That don't do me any good, Ron. I can pull circulated pennies out of every penny cup in the store I go to. I want the sealed roll. To go with my other rolls. God, Sarah couldn't believe I have 2 rolls of 2012 Canadian pennies. I told her, I said, next time I come in, I'll bring them in and show you. I asked her, I said, you ever see a steel penny? She went, what? I said, steel pennies. Then she goes, are they real? Yeah. 1943, 1944, steel pennies. That's what the mint. Do you ever go in there? Because I would guarantee there's probably a roll sitting in a drawer somewhere in the truck stop. What is it? TA or pilot? I'm trying to think the one that's down in Seville, Ohio. I think it's a pilot. God, it's been so long since I got down there. I think that one's a pilot. Because usually TAs are in larger areas. Because that one down in Seville isn't that big. And it's been about 30 years since I've been down there, so I can't remember. Yeah, right at 76 and 224. I know where it's at. I'm not driving down there for a roll of pennies. Oh, Kathy, you want to hear a good one? I had half a tank of gas in the Passat. Dead on a half. So that means it'll take 8 gallons. So I pulled up my gas buddy and I got the price of gas at the BP up the street, as much as I hate BP gas. And I calculated that $22 should fill the tank. So I walked in and I said to the guys, I want $22 on pump 2. Okay. I'm pumping gas. It gets to $21.76 and the pump stops. I was like, 24 cents. Come on. And I'm burping it, a little bit at a time. The gas was at the top of the filler neck when it hit $22 on the pump. I was like, talk about dead on. And now I know my gas gauge is perfect. Oh, loves. Oh. There aren't any of them around here. But yeah, I couldn't believe it. I looked in the filler neck and the gas was right up to the top. And I looked at the pump, $22. Then I got in and I turned the car on and the gauge went bonk right exactly on the fuel line, the full. I was like, now I know my gas gauge is perfect. So now I'm going to start clocking mileage to see what kind of mileage this thing gets. Well, The only real way to do it is to take a trip. Go out and do 25 or 30 miles and then fill it up with gas and then calculate your mileage that way. Driving around the neighborhood, you waste more gasoline. I'm starting to lose my mind. Kathy, I'm starting to lose my mind. And there ain't much mind to lose. Hang on a minute. No wonder my ear hurt. I got the wrong glasses on. I didn't even notice. I was like, boy, why is my ears? That's because for some reason that one end earpiece kind of digs in. I've heated it up and tried bending it. He snuck in the back door, Kathy. When nobody was looking, he snuck in the back. He's sitting in the back of the studio, yeah. Not like you and Ron where you sit right up front. Yeah, I come out of Mark's and there was a woman standing there looking at the Passat. She walked around back. She saw the antennas on the trunk. Walked around the side, looked at the door. WDWL TV. So I waited until she put her groceries in her car. I already, believe it or not, I had somebody last week, was a woman, late 20s, early 30s. She's reading the door on the car. WDWL TV on YouTube at 7 p.m. I walked up to the car and she went, "What's at YouTube?" I was like, I don't have that much time to explain. I can't believe somebody that age had no idea what YouTube is. She went, what's a YouTube? Where's this station? Is that cable? I said, no, it's on YouTube. Oh, what's a YouTube? I said, I think you need to Google it. And she probably walked away and went, what's a Google? I'm like, either she was 100% serious or she was really screwing with me. What's a YouTube? Well, it's a U and a tube. A YouTube. Yeah, what's a YouTube? Well, it's this round cylindrical device. Uh-oh. Prism said I might be freezing up. I hope not. Now it says YouTube stream health is excellent. Make up your mind. First it tells me I might be freezing up, and then it tells me the health of my YouTube stream is excellent. That's why I have got. I know I keep saying it and saying it. I got to go strictly back to YouTube and get off of Prism. That's all there is to it. Yeah. What's YouTube? Oops. Hmm. Oh, I told you I found this headphone amplifier that's got the view meter in it. So I emailed Duke Audio and I said, is there a possibility to get this amplifier with green tubes? Because I said you have some other headphone amplifiers that have green tubes in them. I says, I've got 3 of your amplifiers, one with red tubes, one with orange, and one with blue. Is it possible to get this one in green? So hopefully I get an answer that said, well, yes, we can substitute orange tubes for green ones. Because if they tell me that, I'm buying it. Because that way, with the meter, I would get the true sound. I could dial myself in like, whoop, too much. The only problem is it's $109. I really don't want to spend that kind of money for a toy. And basically what it is, a toy. Although it's, what I like about this outfit is they are slowly bringing back tube equipment. I was going through their website and they have tube stereo amplifiers. I was like, oh my God, that take me back to when I was a young kid. They're combining new technology and old technology. And it's so neat to see an amplifier with a bunch of tubes in it. Like, my headphone amplifiers, I just think it's so cool with tubes because I grew up with tubes. So, I mean, the funny thing is, my component stereo takes up a cabinet this high with my tuner, my turntable, my cassette deck, my CD player, my reverberator. They show these new stereo units sitting on a shelf about this high, and the two speakers, a speaker on either side. I'm like, you could have a whole complete stereo system the size of a shoebox, where mine is in a cabinet this high, with my speakers that you need a two-wheel dolly to move around. Rudy, they're amplifiers like back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. They actually have vacuum tubes. This is stuff I grew up with, vacuum tubes. TVs had them, radios had them, early stereos had them. Everything had a tube in it. TVs used to have 10, 15 tubes inside of them. Radios had 5, 6, 7, 8 tubes inside of them. But this company is mixing new technology with old school technology. Transistorized, but with vacuum tubes. Next thing you'll see tube testers again. Remember them? Tube testers? You'd take every goddamn tube out of your television set and go up to the corner store and test your tubes. If the stuff wasn't that expensive, they have a surround sound system with blue tubes. It's like $299. I could almost imagine what that thing sounds like. But it would be so cool, like having that in front of my TV set with all the tubes lit up. Yeah, Kathy, how many times did you and your father go up to the corner store and test tubes? Then hopefully you made a diagram of the inside of the TV set so you knew where all the tubes went. I'll never forget when our TV went haywire. I had to draw a diagram for my father. He'd take a tube out and go, okay, this is a 7YB3. Okay, I'd write it down. Socket on the left, 7Y. Okay, the tube next to it is a 9WX2. Okay. Pull all the tubes out. Go up and test them. Then come back and look at the diagram. Okay, 7YB3 goes here. And God forbid you screwed up a tube. Yeah, back in the good old days. But it is so cool to see that technology coming back. They've got headphone amplifiers, they've got stereo amplifiers, the stuff that they've got. And it's all modern technology, but old school. Just old school technology kicked up a bit. Oh, you were lucky then. Call the neighbor. Our TV's going haywire. They come in with their RCA tube case, fold it open. I would love to have one of them and use it for a toolbox. The old RCA, the tube case with the big RCA logo on it. You know, fold it open. There are a shitload of tubes in it. I bet somebody's got one up in their attic. An old RCA tube case that a repairman would carry. I would love to have one of them. Yeah, it seemed like every neighborhood had a TV guy. The guy that lived down the end of the street was a ham radio operator. And he did radio and TV repair. He was licensed. And same thing. Somebody's radio or TV go haywire, they'd call him. Hey, my TV's going haywire. And he had one of those RCA tube toolboxes. He had a big tower in his backyard, big antenna. Matter of fact, he was the one that got me interested in ham radio. I still remember his ham radio call today. WHGRG. Oh, he had a big tower in his backyard, big honking antenna, motorized. Every now and then, he'd piss the neighbors off because he'd turn his linear amplifier on and he'd be broadcasting over everybody's TV in the neighborhood. WHGRG calling CQ, CQ, CQ. Then the neighbors would be calling him, hey, Bill, you're broadcasting over our TV sets. Oh, sorry. Yeah, he lived about 6 houses down and then 3 houses over. Matter of fact, he had a sign in the front yard: TV and radio repair. But man, did he have a. Oh, you talk about a ham radio set up in his basement. Holy Christ. He looked like. Well, he could talk to Europe. He had a. He kept a logbook. And he used to, talk to ham radio handle such and such in Bremen, Germany, or Switzerland, or he talked to people all over the world. That's the neat thing about ham radio. I've got some. I've got 3 sitting right over here on top of this cabinet. I have 3 ham radios. But the goddamn test is too confusing for me. And there's no ham radio club in the neighborhood where I could sit down and get coached. I've got 3 radios sitting right over here. They were given to me. They probably got about that much dust on them. But if old Bill wasn't home and somebody's TV went haywire, they were pulling tubes out and going up to the mom and pop shop to use the tube tester. Hard to believe back in the day you could go to the delicatessen, you could get a 6-pack of beer, a pound of fresh sliced lunch meat, and 3 radio tubes. I think every mom and pop store in the neighborhood had a tube tester in the back corner. They all made money on that shit. Test your tubes for free. But you ain't getting the tube for free. Yeah, as a matter of fact, we had 2 ham radio operators in the neighborhood. And I still remember WAGRG and WADFJ. I remember their call letters. Both of them tried to teach me, but back in the day, you had to learn fucking Morse code. You had to tap a key, You had to send a sentence. I could never master that bullshit. Now you don't have to, but some of the questions, they get into radio theory, and I don't understand that shit. I'm too old for that crap. But I've got ham radios here. All it would take would be a license. Yeah, I got 3 ham radios and about 20 CBs. God, this closet over here has got a stack of CB radios. They're not really worth anything, except to a collector. I got mobile units and base units. I got CBs that have telephone handsets. Although they keep saying CB is making a slow comeback. I wish it would make a comeback where I could talk to somebody. Every now and then, I'll go through the channels and I'll catch somebody. But it's not like it was back in the day. Oh God, what the hell was my... Oh Christ. I can't remember my... KR... Oh, it was KR... Oh man, what the hell? Oh God, it was either KRS or KRX. What were the digits? Oh my God, Ron! Now you're gonna brain fry me. Oh man, what? KR X or S? KRX. Crux. Yeah, KRX. Oh, God, I can't remember the digits. Oh, my handle was Road Boss. You got the Road Boss here. Yeah, I was the Road Boss. KRX. Oh, man, you're going to fry my brain, Ron. KRX. Oh, shit. I can't remember the numbers. KRX. Oh, Jesus. KRX. It'll come to me. I'm trying to visualize them. KRX. The first digit was a 3. KRX 3. Diamond Girl. Oh, there's a good one. KRX. KRX. Oh. My girlfriend was Rosebud. Rosebud. Road Boss calling Rosebud. Rosebud here. Where are you, Rosebud? I'm getting off I-71 at 130th. All right. Meet me at Mom's restaurant. Oh, God. I have to write it down now. That's the only way I'm going to figure out the digits. Get a piece of paper. Oh, Ron, you're going to drive me crazy. Christ, you would think as many times as I called them. The strange thing is, I remember my buddies, my two neighbors' ham calls. All right, KRX3. Oh, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out before we go. KRX3. Oh. Because every time you went to make a call, you put your license out. KRX Road Boss calling KBQ Rosebud. KRX. Oh, Jesus. Oh, I'll figure it out before. Oh. I wonder if I. Time to cheat. I used to have one of those Dymo label makers. Remember the ones with the plastic tape? I used to stick my license on every CV. Let me peek in the closet and see if one of the radios still has a Dymo label maker on it. Need a flashlight. No light in the closet. Christ, I only had to move like 10 CB radios until I found one that had a Dymo label maker tag on it. KBX 3773, not KRX. KBX 3773. That was my CB license. Holy shit. KBX 3773, Road Boss calling KRQ 3629, Rosebud. Man, those were the days. Those were the days, weren't they, Ron? Just about every single vehicle on Earth had a CB radio in it. And then it got to be the point you could actually get them factory installed. I remember my Eldorado had a built-in CB radio. Yeah, my Cadillac Eldorado had a. It was built right into the radio itself. And CB. Those were the days, man. I think almost every vehicle on the road had a CB radio in it back then. And it was fun. Man, you talk to people from all over. What was neat, if you got on early on a Sunday morning, you could talk Skip. Because I remember if the airwaves were clear, I could talk to people in Colorado and Montana, Missouri, but it would be like 6 o'clock on a Sunday morning. And then you would hope that somebody else would be on their CB. Yeah, God. Man, just looking in that closet book, oh, did it bring back memories. Every time a new model CB come out, I had one. The Cobra 29 LTD, big honkin' CB radio. My neighbor gave me a new CB, and it's amazing. I'll bring it in the studio tomorrow. It's got the frequency counter. When you go to like channel 19, it's 27.3764, you know. Oh, cool. Really? Oh, Ron, well, you're getting ready to move, but man, I would, once you get moved, I would figure out how to, because if you're that close to, you could hear the truckers. I've got a multi-band ham radio that I can listen to the airport. I've got all the frequencies for the ramp and takeoff, landing, the tower. Oh, every now and then I'll drag that thing out and I'll listen to the airport. But once you get moved, Ron, you have got to learn that, get that radio set up. It's I'll tell you what, it's fun listening. It's like when I would listen to the airport, you know, you got the inbound flights and the outbound and the planes going down the ramps and, you know, like Southwest Flight 3712, take Charlie to Alpha to Bravo to Frank. because all the ramps have alphabetical letters, and they tell the plane which direction. It's cool listening to the airports. Oh, God, it's fun. Once you move, you've got to get that thing set up. You'll love it. See, my problem is with me just renting, I don't want to build anything permanent like I had back in the day. I had a hell of a setup back in the day. Yeah, I mean, it's fun listening to that shit. It really is. I mean, back in the day, I had multiple police scanners, and I could listen to every district. I had 6 scanners, and each one was locked on. So I had District 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I could listen now with the scramblers and them ultra high frequencies. I don't have any radio that'll receive that shit anymore. But back in the day, it kept you occupied. Like in the winter if you were housebound. Oh, man. But I enjoy listening to the airport. I mean, if I want to spend, $600, I could buy one of those, they call them trunking scanners. It's hard to believe they still make them. Good old Bearcats. But like with the one ham radio I've got, I can listen to the airport. Every now and then I drag it out just for fun. One of these days, take a picture of that multi-band radio. I'd like to see what it looks like. Matter of fact, there's a Chinese company that's making all that stuff now. Stupid name, Radiodity. Whoever come up with that name? Oh, we call it Radiodity. They're making ham radios. They're making them multi-band radios. They make CBs. All shit that they reverse engineered from American stuff. Matter of fact, they reverse engineered a CB radio that looks exactly like a Cobra 129 Limited. Exactly. Talk about ripping off. If you were to put them two side by side, you wouldn't know the difference. I couldn't believe it the one day I was on their website and I went, you bastards, you ripped off one of the best Cobra radios ever built. But some of the new Cobra radios, oh God. I would love to have one, but why? Nobody to talk to. But man, are they fancy. And they're the new ones, the microphones are Bluetooth. They're no. You have a little headset, no wires, voice to talk. You want to talk, you just start talking into the microphone. No buttons to push, nothing. You'd have to live like around a truck stop. Or close to a turnpike. If I would, back in the day, if I would go out to my cousin's house, he didn't live that far from the turnpike. And man, you listen to them truckers chatter constantly, which they still do. If I get out in the country, every now and then, if I've got my CB and, you'll hear the truckers. It's like the 70s all over again. Although all of your semis come standard with CBs. Every manufacturer, they build them in standard now. Because they know the truckers are still using Channel 19. Because what the hell did he get? Kenworth? My buddy's son is an over-the-road trucker. He got a new Kenworth, and it's built right into the cab now. Comes standard with a 40-channel CB radio. And you can specify what make, model CB you want. Because they know the truckers are still using them. That's where they make their money, the truckers. Although I'll tell you what, the price of antennas is really outrageous. I had to buy a new magnetic antenna for my CB radio. Christ, an antenna that I bought back in the day for $10 is up 40 for the same stinking shorty. Because I don't drill no holes. Everything of mine is magnetic. I learned the hard way drilling holes in cars. I even got a couple of antennas Kathy would like. Big lightning sticks that mount on the mirrors. Matter of fact, I still have an old antenna that's got lights in it. Every time you key up, the antenna lights up. That one I won't use for fear of burning it out. But it was cool back in the day. Every time you transmitted, the lights came on in the antenna. It was also easy if the frickin' FCC was cruising the neighborhood. Well, we know who's not using their call sign. That guy with the antenna that keeps lighting up. Because a lot of times I get lazy. Screw the call sign. Road boss here. Because I think everybody at one time or another that was a CBer had a copy of C.W. McCall's Convoy. Crash that gate to a 98 and let them truckers roll 10-4. I would actually play that if I didn't get copyrighted. It'd be cool to hear Convoy all over again. Yeah, the good old Breaker 19. Break for a radio check. Then you'd hear a bunch of people coming back going, I got my radio, I got my radio. What's your 20? I'm right next to you. Oh, hi. Yeah, nothing like pissing a bunch of truckers off. Break 19 for a radio check. You'd hear them all come back. I got my radio. Okay, thank you. Then you have some of them truckers that have the echo built into them, which is annoying as hell. Yeah, it never fails. You can always tell when somebody just turned their CB on. Break for a radio check. I got my radio. What's your 20? I'm next to you. See me? Christ, at one time in Cleveland, all the police traffic cars had CBs in them. There was one cop that would literally, his handle was pokey bait. I loved it. He would tell people where he was clocking radar on the freeway. And wouldn't you know it, some idiot would speed by him. He'd get on the CB, go, you weren't listening. Gotcha. And you'd hear him, because the guy'd have a CB antenna on his car. You'd hear him, all right, blue Chevy, pull it over. Yeah, pokey bait. One was pokey bait and the other one was jail keys. There were two cops that would yak on the CB at night. Pokey bait and jail keys. Oh, yeah. And that was before unmarked cars in Cleveland. Now the goddamn traffic cars are sneaky. They got them visor mounted lights now. And a little itty bitty police emblem on the fender. You can barely see it. That's the traffic car that sits out here. Got a little itty bitty emblem on the fender. Little Cleveland police badge. You can almost see it. Sneaky bastard. All black Taurus. I'll tell you what, we don't have too many Taurus police cars left in Cleveland, though. That one's like brand new. One of these days I'm going to ask him how many miles on it. Looks like it just rolled out of the showroom. I don't know where they kept that car hidden. The dead giveaway is the push bar on the front bumper. That's the dead giveaway. If you look up the street, you see a car with a push bumper. Uh-oh. I don't know why they would put a push bumper on a goddamn undercover traffic car. But that's the giveaway if you know what you're looking for. Oh, that's sneaky. That's real sneaky. Worse than ours. Although I'm trying to think what state. Oh, Florida. They got their state trooper cars are tan and brown. I like the two-tone combination. Although there's some out west too. They're tan and brown. Now, the police department in Rhode Island, where my cousin lives, their police cars are a real neat medium blue. Real nice color. Well, I think it's about that time. I got an Italian sausage sandwich calling my name. We know where, right here, WDWL TV. All right, everybody, thanks for hanging in there tonight. Been another fun evening. And we will meet again tomorrow night. And with that, everybody, take care. And be on the search for a roll of pennies. Catch you tomorrow.